I've been sponsored for another video by Tanuki Figures, and in this video, we're going to be making Vivi from Final Fantasy. This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad. I probably touched the mic, so that sounds terrible. Now, I feel like all these videos end up taking way too long to get to the meat and potatoes of things, and so I'm just going to get straight into it. Now, in the image, he has some glowing eyes and some fire all around him. Now, I could make this fire just in clear, which I have clearly already done by printing it in clear. However, I want to make this all light up, and the way I'm going to do that is by adding some LEDs. So for his eyes, I have these tiny little LEDs that are attached to this little bit of wire that is, I'm pretty sure, 5-volt LEDs. I also want to light up the base, and to light up that base, these little things are just not going to cut it. So I have a spotlight. This is a very bright light that I'm going to shove into the base. However, I cannot fit it into the base because I'm going to need to do some carving to get that out so I can get that to fit in. Now, I have a power supply that I'm going to use, but it's only going to be during the duration of showing you what the model looks like, and that's going to be for my hero shots at the end. But as you can see, this is a 12-volt power supply. However, 12 volts is too much for those little doodads. So I'm going to need to either have 2 power sources, or I'm going to need to figure out how to step down the power between the 12 volts and the other things. And I do have something that might help me with this, which is a step-down unit. This is a step-down unit. Essentially, it is a little piece of electronical board to adjust the voltage coming out from whatever it is coming in. Now, understandably, all this stuff is confusing. If you think it's confusing to you, it's very confusing for me too. However, I grasp a little bit of it. And I'm just going to brush over most of the important bits and just show you how I make it without having the fire come out. And that is because fire in your model is actually a bad thing, contrary to what you may have seen on a couple of videos in my channel. So the first thing I have an issue with is the fact that this plug, it plugs into nothing that I have. Well, I do, but it's on another thing, and I'm not going to be taking that off. So I'm going to change the plug to these. These are XT30s. We use these for model making in the hobby RC world. So I'm going to change the plug to this. I don't think you really need to see that too much, but I will show you a little bit of it. So before I do any wiring of this thing, I need to cut out this base. I literally need to cut this whole thing at least big enough to be able to fit that thing inside of it. So what I've done is I soldered the other end of the XT30 that goes into obviously the plug, and I've soldered that onto the LED, the massive friggin' spotlight, and I need to plug it in to check if it works, but I'm actually terrified. Okay, so I hope that I don't die from this, because if I die from this, then there's no more channel. So far, so good. I hate plugging in electrical things. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Oh, that's so bright! Okay, now I'm blind, I can't actually see anything, but we have a light. And now that I can confirm that electricity does in fact make the big bright happen, I can glue everything in place and get ready for the next parts of the build. And just in case, like me, you were curious to know what it looked like without the paint on and the light just blasting your eyeballs, I've videoed that as well. So this is how I managed to get it to look. It looks pretty neat and tidy, and it's at the back of the model, so you won't even see it, but it will blow your eyeballs out as soon as you turn it on, which is fantastic! Now I can just solder in that little reducer and hope that it works. So let me quickly explain my elaborate contraption that I have going on here. You may not know what that is, but that is a voltmeter. Essentially, it's a little box that tells you how much voltage is coming out of the thing that you're testing. You use these little probes, of which I have just literally tied the cable around the end from my little voltage regulator, if you remember, because we've got 12 volts coming out of here, and the LEDs that go to the rest of the model need to be 5 volts. otherwise they will explode, and explosion is not good for models. So there's a tiny little thing on there. You see that little screw? That screw is the potentiometer. So by turning that left or right will increase the voltage or decrease the voltage that's coming out. So I have control over it over there. Oh. Oh no, I can't take the power from before. Oh, I don't know what to do. Well, then how am I supposed to take the power, broski? I'm going to be honest. Do you remember when I said I have no idea what I'm doing? This is one of those moments. So I'm going to have to pivot. I think I might just have to try and shove another battery in here or something, because I actually don't know how to get the power out. Guys, this video was sponsored by Tanuki Figures, and they're the ones who sculpted the Vivi. Not only did they sculpt this, but every month for the low price of $13, you can get 3 premium full-size figures, 3 busts, 1 chibi, 1 extra, and a toon on top of it. So don't dilly-dally, go straight down in the description now and join them immediately. Since apparently I'm absolutely ridiculously bad at doing electronics, I decided to just move on and do some more electronics. And right now what I'm doing is just putting the LEDs that I need for the rest of the lights in this model. And these LEDs are the 5-volt ones that I told you about that needed the reducing of the voltage in order to not explode my model. However, I could not get the power to come out of that freaking big blasting bulb. I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie. If you know the answer to this, then leave it in the comments down below, because I have no idea why I cannot just take the power directly out of the power that's coming and splitting. So I have now obviously got all the electronic bits that I need to get in pretty much inside of the model. So it's time for me to prime this model and get it ready for paint. I still have not figured out how I'm going to get the extra power to the other LEDs, but that seems like a problem for later me. Also, I may have perhaps forgot to pay my account, so I have no Chaos Black today, and I don't actually know what I'm gonna do yet. I managed to find the smallest little amount, so I think I might actually save that for his head, but I'm not really sure. I think there's not much in here. It's not going to do this whole model. So it's a good thing that most of this model is actually clear parts that don't need black primer over them. And speaking of clear parts, let's start with those clear parts, which are actually fire on this model. I think they're fire. I don't actually know this to be a fact, but I'm going to go with fire. And I'm going to start out by spraying a yellow ink over everything, leaving a little bit of the clear at the bottom of the fire. I'm then going to take a fluorescent orange and spray that kind of halfway up and towards the tips. Now I'm going to take a red and spray that just mostly on the tips. And with all the clear parts done, it's time to put the primer layers on the other parts that need to be painted. And I'm going to use the rest of this Chaos Black that I have, and I'm just going to hope that it makes it to the end. And thankfully, it actually did make it to the end. Surprisingly, it did, but it did it. And while those parts dry, I'm going to quickly add a layer of gloss clear over the top of the base. This is now the next day. I let that dry all night, and I came back in and then started painting the base portion of the base fire. And this is with a gray, and I'm going to paint this just as a solid color over everything across the bottom of the base. And if you know me and the work that I like to produce, I can't just leave this simple as I'm going to add a gradient using this Griff Charger Gray from the back to the front just to give it some more depth. Now I'm going to take some white ink and I'm going to zenithal highlight everything on this model. A lot of this model is actually lighter colors, so I can actually go a little bit overboard with the zenithal because I'm going to be using that white to my advantage underneath the colors that I lay over the top. And speaking of colors and tops, I'm going to start painting the top portion of this model with this weird blue, which actually does not look anything like the color that it looks like in real life. It looks more like it looks in the bottle. I don't know why the camera did this, but the camera did this. So just imagine a very nice blue that's not like this. I'm going to take the same Griff Charger Grey and spray that into the shadows. I'm going to pay attention to the folds of the fabric, and this is just going to help make it look more like fabric. Now on his hat, I'm going to spray a sandy kind of brown color, and I'm just going to let that dry. As soon as that's dry though, I can spray Reichland Flesh Shade into the shades or shadows of this hat. And you'll notice I use shades like that quite a lot. Contrast paints and shades are both quite translucent or transparent. I don't know which one of those words it is, but it's one of those words, and I use that to my advantage all the time. You can see me using them in the shadows of almost all my models, or if I'm going to tint something. I'm going to then paint the little back portion of his jacquet with deck tan. I didn't show you the bottle, but I assume you know what deck tan looks like by now. And if you are new to this channel, then it looks exactly like this bottle, except it says deck tan on it. This bottle, however, is a silver bottle from Ammo by Mig. This is my favorite silver. Genuinely, I don't stock any ammo in my store, but this particular paint I have stock of in my personal cupboard. I'm going to also paint those little ribbons or laces that holds his jacquet together, and that's just with a plain red from Vallejo. I'm using deck tan again, and I'm painting his inside of his cuffs. I think that's what you call them. And I'm going to very carefully use that same red Vallejo, and using the side of my brush, I'm going to edge highlight basically the little rim that goes around that, which is in red. Now I'm going to take some skeleton horde and spray that into the shadows of that deck tan that I put down. Like I said earlier in the video, I use these shades and contrast paints to just help get some more depth in my model. Same red was used around that original part of the piece of his hat, whatever you call that ribbon thing, and then I added a little bit of deck tan over the top and a brighter red over that to just help create a little bit of depth. Taking some Reichland Flesh Shade, I'm going to add that into the crevasses on the hat, which is going to help create even more depth and make it look like I cared a little bit. I didn't show you how I painted the head, but I just used my brush and Vallejo black to paint the head. Pretty much in the same way that I painted the hands, but I used red and I used black for the head. You get what I mean. I glued it on way back then, so if you missed that part, that's what happened in that little piece. I'm now going to solder all the little wires that I need that are going to connect up the LEDs in the model, and I'm going to start to glue some of these parts together. And now that the torso is pretty much done, I can move on to the pants. And for the pants, he basically has these little blue stripes that go over the pants. So I painted them solid blue, and I came back with Griff Charger Grey, as you can see, picking my shade carefully. This is also a shade for that white of his pants as well. So that means that the overspray is not going to ruin anything, but it's going to help create the depth that I need. I used Cygor Brown to paint his shoes and his belt. And then I took a dark silver from Pro Acryl and I painted the little buckle that is holding his belt upon his waist. And now that the painting is done, I can start adding the last bits of the wires. And I pretty much basically put all the wires from black and red together from all of the LEDs on the torso, and I pretty much just soldered them onto two wires coming out. Now I only have black wires, which is bad because you might not know which wire is which, but I marked them so that I knew which was a black and which one was a red. Then I glued his torso to his legs and started to feed the wires through the base. This I used a pair of tweezers just to help me pull it all the way through, and then I realized that I needed to paint his little knee key, and this needed to go red because it just needs to be disguised by the rest of the base. I used my wife's hairdryer to dry this so that I could glue it in, and that's pretty much where I called the model done. So if you've made it this far, you've clearly made it through yet another Groundeffected video, which is absolutely incredible. I cannot believe that you would sit and watch this, but I am very grateful that you do, in fact, sit and watch this. If you were watching this on the toilet, you know that you need to wash your hands. Don't be a dirty bugger. Also, probably want to click the subscribe button because that's just as bad as not washing your hands. At this point of the video though, I do have to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for supporting me and keeping the lights blinding my eyeballs every single week. Also, a huge thank you to Tanuki Figures for sponsoring this video. And like I say in every single video, if you don't like anything you saw in this video, I literally don't care. And you can kindly now, if off.